Morning, everybody. Hope you're all good. It's Sunday, the 18th of February 2024. We're here to take a look at the weather for the UK for the weekend, but also at the anomalous warmth that we're experiencing across the UK. We're actually, in terms of the Central England temperature series, which goes all the way back to 1659, we're actually on course for a record at the moment, but things will change slowly this week. Are we going to break that record this month? Well, let's have a little look at the charts and we can decide from there. Well, outside at the moment, it is across many parts of England, central England, eastern England, southern England, still a fairly wet morning, quite heavy rainfall across many areas, but there is a clearance coming in. And if we just take a look at the satellite imagery, you'll pick up quite well where the thickest of the cloud is and where the heaviest of the rain is. This is gradually moving away eastwards and it will push out of the way. However, there is a bit of a fly in the ointment, particularly for the far southeast. Could be a bit of a Sunday spoiler down there. So a gradually improving day, but at the moment the back edge of the front can be seen. The rain has now cleared from Filey. This is up near Scarborough on the webcam up there, and down towards Oxford. The rain has stopped. Just some signs that things are just starting to break up there as well. And down towards the south coast, the rain once again has stopped. There's a bit of a clearance coming through, but it is still rather cloudy, and it will be a slowly improving picture, as I've mentioned, for most of us. Exceptionally mild again this morning. Current top of the hot is 12 degrees down there at Yeovilton, but you'll see Leconfield at 12, Southampton at 12, Jersey at 11.3, Waddington 11.2, and Bridlington also at 11.1. Now, I've mentioned it's been exceptionally mild. I'm going to show you a chart here from NOAA. This is looking at the sea surface temperatures anomaly across the world. So here is the Atlantic. This is America here. You just need to sort of get your eyes accustomed to it. But just notice just how warm the seas are around the UK at the moment, and have been the case throughout most of the winter. There's some quite notable warmth just off the west coast of Africa there. And this red line just coming up from the South America into the sort of Central Pacific, that is El Nino. When you see this red line running along the sort of the equator in that tropics area, that is the El Nino signature. When it switches blue, that becomes La Nina, but yeah, quite a strong El Nino this winter. I think it's had some bearing, some ramifications on the climate across the Northern Hemisphere this winter. But once again, it's one of many, many background signals that go into effect in the whole sort of like Northern Hemispherical weather pattern. So no one sort of factor in isolation can be responsible. But El Nino, a big player, especially for many parts of North America. Right, back to that warmth. As I've mentioned, this is the central England temperature. For February, we're currently sitting at 8.3. Now, the warmest ever February in the series, which, as I've mentioned, is dating back to 1659, was 7.9 way back in 1779. So at the moment, we are zero point 0.4 of a degree above the record. It's the 16th, 17th, 18th. So we've still got another sort of 10 days to go. I think the trend is for things to start cooling off. So I don't think the record will be achieved, but this has been a winter of mildness. And, so yeah, we need to sort of just be open to that. I'm going to show you also the temperature in my back garden here in Folkestone. This is quite an interesting statistic. So this is for the month of February so far. Highest temperature 15.2, exceptionally warm days earlier this week. I've been no lower than 2 degrees this month, and so far I'm running at 79.2 millimetres of rain. The average for around these parts in February, which is generally the driest month or one of the driest months of the year, should be around about 50 to 55 millimetres of rain. So as you can see, well above average already, and we're only at the 18th. The other thing of note is the maximum temperatures. Just this is the column which shows the highest daily maximum temperatures, and there has not been one day this month where I have not recorded over 10 degrees. Now, considering that the average should be close to around about 8.5, 9 degrees, that's quite exceptional, isn't it? And as you've seen, I've not even had a frost yet this month. I think the lowest that I recorded briefly was 2 degrees one evening before that milder air comes back in. Where is the cold then across the UK or across the world then, Steve? Well, let's take a look. These are the anomalies across let's look at the Northern Hemisphere. You'll see that at the moment, North America is fairly cold, or in patches anyway. Europe, very mild, warm, still rather cool across parts of Scandinavia, but the real cold air, that's where it's sitting. It's over Asia, and yeah, we're talking sort of like 20 degrees below average. So the world is a wonderful balancing act, sort of you've got areas of warmth, but you'll always have the areas of cold. We're like a giant thermostat. That warmth has to go somewhere, the cold has to be dispelled to maintain that equilibrium. But that's where it is sitting at the moment. And if we just run this through for the next few days, we just have a little look to see where that the cold anomalies and the warm anomalies move. So that's today. Throughout the course of the week, just notice how the Asian cold pool slowly migrates westwards towards Russia. Europe remains very mild, well above average. North America starts to warm up as well. And later on in the week, just see how these blue anomalies start to turn the UK a little bit cooler finally. Europe, Eastern Europe stays very, very warm, very mild. And that cold pool just towards Asia gradually moves towards really Russia, doesn't it? Sort of by that point, northern Siberia, northeast Scandinavia is warm. The UK temperatures are back to average. Eastern parts of the United States have cooled down, but many parts of the Midwest and also down towards California, places like that are well above average. So that's just giving you a little bit of a sort of a view to the sort of the overall sort of like temperature patterns. Right, let's have a look closer to home. So this is the jet stream at the moment. It's firing up across the UK. And we'll just run this through the course of the week. Just notice how it fires up, but it moves south. And we know what happens when that jet stream starts to move further south. That's right, things do start to cool down. The boundary between the cooler air to the north and the mild air to the south gets shunted further south as low pressure systems get taken on a more southerly trajectory. So if we just take a look at the facts charts for the next few days, no prizes for guessing. This is Sunday. The UK today has those fronts, especially across the southeast of the UK. They'll be moving out the way. Tomorrow we track an occlusion, which will bring a showery day for some parts, but generally a drier day, a brighter day tomorrow. By Tuesday, once again, we've got some showery rain potentially down towards the southeast, and we're tracking another cold front moving down from the northwest throughout the course of the day. Wednesday looks like a bit of a shocker at the moment with a low pressure system, lots of fronts, lots of rain. And then by Thursday, I think we'll be looking towards the west for quite a deep area of low pressure, which will turn things very unsettled, very showery, and eventually somewhat cooler. So we'll now take a look at the weather patterns for the week ahead in terms of what's falling from the sky. This is from the ECM this morning. This is the current view thanks to MetDesk. Thank you very much. So 9 o'clock this morning, as we've seen, the rain is across the west of or the east of the UK. That will clear out the way this afternoon. There'll be a few showers left in the southeast. There'll be a few showers running onto those western coasts and across parts of northern England. But to all intents and purposes, a dry and fine afternoon. Breeze is falling lighter. We start tomorrow with a band of showers. That was that occlusion coming into the west tomorrow morning. That will push eastwards. This is at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. This is at 6 o'clock in the morning when we wake up. That will be pushing through. And apart from a few showers again around those western coasts and those clear in the southeast, should be a mainly dry day. Just a few showers here and there. By Tuesday, we look towards the west again for another front that will be pushing in from the west again. So this is at 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning. Quite heavy rain for a time that pushes down towards the southeast. But generally fragments, and then we look at the end of Tuesday towards the southwest for the next active weather system, which is going to give us a really miserable day on Wednesday. This is at 6 o'clock on Wednesday morning, so the breezes are ramping up, the rain is pushing in, and yet all parts on Wednesday will be affected by this area of low pressure. Rain heavy at times, giving way to showers in the afternoon, heavy towards the west at the end of the day, with that rain just again holding on across the far south. Thursday is the day when we bring in quite an active, deep area of low pressure. Could be some wind associated with this one. We'll have a little look at the wind charts in a moment, but yeah, it's fair to say that we all experience a squally day on Thursday with a band of quite heavy, showery rain pushing through throughout the course of the morning, followed by a rash of sunshine and showers in fresh to strong westerly breezes. Notice how this chart is putting lots of purples on here. Don't get too excited about that. There is the chance of some wintry showers across maybe the highest peaks, but yeah, to all intents and purposes, it will be generally rain showers, but it will be cooler. And as I've mentioned, those showers will be falling as sleet. They'll be falling as snow across those Scottish hills, especially, and the mountains. By Have we skipped Friday? Yes, so Friday is a day of sunshine and showers, as I've mentioned, more especially in the west, but I think these showers will be pushing through. I think we'll all be affected by showers at times on Friday in that strong westerly flow. And then towards next weekend, the breezes may start to ease off, but low pressure is still well on the scene. There's still the chance of organised bands of rain, showers pushing through from the west at times, with just the risk again that some of those showers with time will become increasingly wintry across those northern hills and more particularly across Scotland. We go into the end of next weekend with more of a northerly flow, perhaps things turning a little bit cooler by then. In terms of the winds, I think we've mentioned it, so it will be a breezy old week. We track areas of low pressure. These are maximum gusts. So you see that tomorrow most of the wind will be out in the Atlantic. The scale is such that these deep purples are around about these sort of like 55, 60 mile an hour margin. So we only should really start getting concerned when we start seeing these sort of these reddish, darkish reddish colours coming across the UK inland. So on Tuesday, yeah, a breezier day. Just notice how those gusts ramping up to around about 45, 50 miles an hour, especially across like those northern hills and across those exposed western coasts. But really, yeah, a breezy week. Again, quite a breezy week, a breezy day on Wednesday with gusts typically in that 40, 45 range. And then towards the end of the week, more low pressure, windy out in the Atlantic, but things hopefully by the end of the week just starting to settle down somewhat as high pressure tries to push in from the southwest and we start to turn those breezes a little bit more into the northwest. Right, what are we looking at now? So yeah, these are your 10-day charts. So there you go. That's the ECM's take on it this morning. High pressure to the southwest, low pressure to north, a rather cool west northwesterly flow. This is 10 days out, and a picture that's replicated with the GFS. High pressure to the southwest, lower pressure to the north, rather cool to average northwesterly breezes. Longer term trends, so there you go, that marked trend in terms of 2 metre temperatures can be seen cooling off around about the 23rd, back to average for London, but it will be a wet old picture if we just put the spikes on there. There you go, periods of rain on most days, just brief dry interludes in an unsettled picture. If we just put some sea level pressure anomaly thingies on there, quite a deep area, low pressure around the 22nd as we've seen. Move forward to Sheffield, low pressure on the scene, falling away, temperatures cooling off from around about the 23rd, back to average. Precipitation is quite notable on most days, very little respite, generally unsettled in the longer term. Move north to Glasgow still, so there you go, plenty of rain. Should put some snow spikes on there, showing that there is the risk of wintriness in those showers around about the 22nd. But yeah, your temperature trends for Glasgow are cooling off, back to average there as well after a mild few days. And your pressure anomaly, or should I keep saying anomaly, the pressure ensemble is showing things turning quite unsettled again around about the 22nd to 23rd. Longer term, possible signs of higher pressure pushing in from the west, but it's a weak signal at the moment. I think the buzzword this week is mild, turning cooler, breezy, showers, rain at times. No sign of a proper winter yet, and we are getting towards the end of February. Time is running out for you snow lovers, if that's what you're into. Anyway, I'm going to get off now, get about my day. Have a lovely rest of the day. I'll speak to you soon. Ciao for now.